Welcome to Boat Talk. Hello fellow viewers, my name is Alex. This is Michel Willems, founder of BimBimBikes and one-stop webshop. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Michel, what was the point when you thought, okay, maybe it's time to start my own business, and what was your main considerations before you started doing this?
Well, actually, I always felt that I should do that. I never felt, having to apply for a real job. I started my first, it's not a real company, but I started selling sunglasses when I was 13 on the market.
A little bit.
Yeah, and so I never thought of something else. When I really started a real company, that was on the very point that I was ready or almost ready with my studies, and I saw other people applying for jobs and traineeships and things like that, and I thought, well, probably this is the time to really start. But
okay.
I never had another idea about my life, actually.
Before you started BimBimBikes, you founded your first company, which is called One Stop Webshop.
Mm-hmm.
Would you just like to give us a short summary about what it is?
One Stop Webshop is a e-commerce platform or developer. What we do, we build web shops for our clients, mostly small and medium-sized enterprises, a lot of business-to-business web shops as well. But also sometimes for bigger companies. We're currently very busy with the Mercedes-Benz web shop for the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. So it's a small but nice company, 20 people working there, and interesting, stable business model.
Okay, Michel, you told us about your first company, and you just started off with your second one called BimBimBikes.
Exactly.
How did you come up with the idea? Would you explain us the concept a little bit before?
Well, the concept is quite easy. You probably know websites like booking.com or hotels.com or something like that. There are a lot of companies selling hotel rooms, but there are not a lot of companies integrating companies actually that do bike rentals. Most people that rent out bicycle companies, have a small website or something like that. Some of them are very professional, but it's still scattered. Mm-hmm. It's not a very clear oversight of what's available in every town and things like that. So since for some people that really want to plan ahead, if you only have a couple of days and you really want a specific bike, for instance a very good mountain bike or a racing bike or just a city bike, but you're with 20 people and you want to be sure that there are bikes left if you come there, it's easy to plan ahead, and that's what we try to bring to the world. Okay. To make it more transparent, so you can compare different proposals of bike rental companies, actually. Okay,
and that's actually also because you're Dutch. I think that there is a strong connection between Dutch people and biking, right? So.
It could be. I have seen other people on the cycling.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
they do exist in other countries, but in Holland it's a very big thing. And although, for instance, in San Francisco or New York or Barcelona, a lot of bicycles are rented out, or more, let's say in the mountains you can rent a lot of road bikes or mountain bikes. I live in Amsterdam, and every day I see so many rental bikes. I'm pretty sure there will be a market for that. Yeah,
it sounds really great. It sounds great. And how did you come up with the name BimBimBikes? It's a ringy name. You can really remember it.
Thanks for saying that, because that's what we aim for. But to be honest, it was a rational decision. It was not just a name that came up. We needed a name that was available with all kind of domain extensions like .com, .org, whatever, .es for Spain, .it for Italy and things like that, because we want to be worldwide. And it's quite difficult to find a name that is available for all those domain extensions. And then we said to each other, what we need is a name that people will remember, still available, and that you can pronounce in most languages. I can't guarantee that you can pronounce it in every language, but we think there is no R in it. For instance, in Asian cultures that could be a little bit difficult. So that's what we looked for, and we had like 100 names, and we chose one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you want to know what it means, it doesn't have any meaning. Yeah. It just sounds like BimBimBikes. That's the main reason.
But yeah, it rings a name. It rings the bell. That's the point, right? Yeah. Michel, one more question concerning BimBimBikes. How many employees do you have already? Is it already up and running?
We just started. The website is online. From today on, you can book and pay online. Before it was just what we said internally. It's like a phone book, but a little bit less good because there are only bike rental companies in it. But from now on, you can book and reserve and pay and things like that. So we just started today. Actually, it was a soft launch today. How many people are working on it? To be honest, people that work on it are mostly employed by the other company.
Okay.
Like the web developer, development guru, really is a great guy with bright ideas. Then we have a designer that does a lot for other clients, but also for BimBimBikes. Mm-hmm. And we have the infrastructure that helps a lot. And then we have some interns actually. And they are really doing a great job. They're doing the hard work actually.
Okay, the creative.
Creative, but also finding ways to build up the network. Because one of the things, if you want to have value as a booking site, you really need to offer bicycles. Mm-hmm. Or if you compare it to other things like Booking.com has like 55,000 hotels in their database. We don't have 55,000 rental companies yet, but we're trying to get bigger. Yeah. And really to get those people into your network, you have to start. And that's a lot of work. You just have to talk to people. So the first interns really went to bike rental companies to explain what it is without having the website. Mm-hmm. So I'm really thankful that Kevin, our first intern, started. Some of the bike rental companies are in countries that were my whereabouts of last year because I went on vacation or things like that. Mm-hmm. And then we have a Spanish guy called Pelayo, and he really build up a great network in Spain. I believe we have like 80 bike rental companies right now over there, almost in every province in Spain. We have a English guy called Ramadan, and he's starting in the UK and Ireland right now. So I'm pretty happy with my interns.
Awesome. Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah.
So Michel, if you could go back and give yourself an advice about like setting up BimBimBikes again, what would it be to the Michel that just starts to get the company running? Is there any special advice you would give yourself? Focus more on it. I mean, it started as a hobby. It started as a side project. And the problem with side projects is they don't go as fast as you want. Mm-hmm. And since we have a lot of great reactions of bike rental companies, but also from people starting to rent bikes right now, I should have started before, and I should have done it faster. And I'm pretty sure in the upcoming months we're gonna learn way more, and in half a year I have another story that I should do. But last year we should have focused more on it. We're totally focused now. Awesome. So I learned from that. Yeah. Awesome. And do you see, because you said you should have been faster, do you see competition coming up maybe?
Well, not direct competitors. There are peer-to-peer bicycle rental networks though. So in our case you can compare to Booking.com, where professionals rent out hotel rooms. In our case it's professionals who rent out bicycles. There's an Airbnb as well, where consumers give their house, their home, their room or whatever, their couch to other people, and they are growing very fast. There are a couple of networks who offer peer-to-peer bike rentals. They don't grow very fast, and I do believe I know why. One of the reasons is that if you rent a bike, normally you don't go alone. Some people do, but most people go with more people. And then the other party that rents out the bike, the consumer, if it's peer-to-peer, should have enough bikes that suit your need. I mean, my wife is a little bit smaller than I am, so she needs other measures. And if you really want a good bike, then, well, you're lucky if one consumer, one other private person has exactly the same sizes as you need. And most bicycle rental companies, well, they have quite a lot to offer. The bicycles are guaranteed maintained because it's their job. You're pretty sure they're open because they have their openings times. It's not a consumer that has to be at home and things like that. And it cost me some time to find your home, for instance. We're right here at the moment, and great home actually. But and normally the professional bicycle rental company can guarantee some quality, can guarantee opening times and things like that, and can guarantee that it really has what you need. And then, why is it working for cars, for instance, with Snapcar, or for hotels, or in that case it's more your house or your room at Airbnb? It's the monetary value of your overnight stay is quite high in comparison with bicycles. And to be honest, a lot of people like sharing, but most people sharing do that because they want to earn something with it. It's not completely true. There are a lot of people that just want to give away, just want to give, but at Airbnb it's obviously that a lot of people want to earn their vacation back or something like that. And then if you look at the price of a rental bike, well, in a country like Holland, not the cheapest country in the world, you can have a very good bike for 10 euros. And as a private person, would you stay home for 5 euros because you want to be cheaper than a professional company? Not everybody wants. There are some people doing that. And that's, I guess, a completely different market, another need. Some people do that because they're in small groups or just alone and they find the right bike. In a certain way, they fulfill the same need, but in a different way. So I really believe they can grow in the same time as we can grow, because for most people it's a different product. So I don't see a lot of direct competitors.
Okay, interesting.
To answer it a little bit more short.
Michel, you as an entrepreneur who founded his second company already, what do you think is the most important, or are the most important skills for being an entrepreneur to get started?
Yeah, there are a lot of skills that could come in handy, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs. I don't do it alone. I do this with a partner as well, and he has some other skills and things that I'm really not good at. So it's always important to really want to start your company. That's the most important thing, because some people are very creative, other people are really getting done people. Then you have financial genius people, then you have all kind of people that have a certain skill that could come in handy. But the most important thing is that you're really passionate about the thing that you want to do. And a lot of people say they're passionate, but are not willing to give up a lot of things. I mean, to be successful, or you're very special, or you're are very lucky, or you just work a lot. And one of the most important things is to be passionate about it, because that helps you to go on when everything goes wrong. If you have some things that really are not like you expected it to be, then you should find another way. You can do that by being very creative or just working hard and push it or whatever, but you have to go on, and that's I think the most important habit or skill or whatever capability that you could have.
To sum it up, you would say the most important skill really is persistence and passion, or the most important mindset to really establish what you want.
And probably persistent. To be persistent is easier if you are passionate about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michel, in your past, before you came the Michel you are, were there any persons that really influenced you in the way you do things now, and your person as well, your personality maybe?
Yeah, a lot of people actually. There's not one main guru where I'm fan of that specific person or something like that. But there are a lot of people very important to me. To mention a few, but not too much, because and I'm pretty sure I forget a lot of important people right now. But one of them, for instance, is my father. He was a vet, animal doctor, as we say, and what I learned from him is if you like your job, it doesn't matter that you work a lot. And he also gave some insight in how to work a lot without falling asleep. For instance, he sang in his car to be awake, and I really like that kind of tricks actually. It's not that I sing every day, I'm a very bad singer, but
me too.
But yeah, it's just his mindset really inspired me. For instance, my wife, who really lets me go, gives me the freedom to do what I do right now, and I really realize that a lot of people are in a relationship that is a little bit more strict. I don't know exactly how to express it. It's not that they really impressing or something like that, and they probably really like their relationship, but you need some freedom, you need some space to really do what you want, take your risk, take your time and things like that. It's not that we never see each other. We have, if we see each other, we have quality time, but it's not that I'm at home at 6 o'clock every day. Last one is my co-founder, who was really a getting done person. It was really somebody who says, I'm gonna do this, and in 1 hour he already did. Whereas I'm thinking about how to do it, making a plan, being creative, things like that. But he really gets things done. I really respect that.
Interesting. Yeah, what I see actually in my work life so far as an intern as well is, if you like your job, you get way better, and you do things that you couldn't imagine that you would come up with it, and time passes by and you look at the clock and say, okay, I have to stop working now because time's over.
It's too late. I have to sleep now.
Yeah, exactly. That's really great. Concerning BimBimBikes, Michel, what's your plans for the future? Do you have any big projects coming up?
Yeah, because we just started, so everything is new actually. Well, we really want to be everywhere in the world. So we're building up our network in Europe right now, but we already have some partners in Asia, for instance, or in Latin America. We want to grow there as well. In the sense that we're doing marketing, we already do things like SEO and advertising and things like that. But we're really looking for great partners that are already in the travel or leisure sector. We just signed a contract with a company that has a app for cyclists in Holland. It's called Fiets. And you can find your routes over there, or you can plan your own routes, and then you can find along the way where you can rent your bike. So I'm looking for partners like that, and in the upcoming months we will find, and we already found a couple of them. We will present a couple of partners like that.
Michel, during my workday I see that there are a lot of really interesting tools out there that you can use. For example, I don't want to do too much advertisement, but for example, Wunderlist. It's one of the tools I use a lot. Is there anything that you use on a daily basis that you would consider as your favorite tool, maybe in work life?
Yeah, there are so many tools that you could fall in love with. The problem is then probably you spend too much time in selecting tools, using tools, exactly. And you don't do what you really should do. There are just a couple of simple tools that I really use a lot. For instance, in my Gmail inbox, I use Active Inbox, and that's a tool where you can plan tasks and where you can schedule tasks and where you can see your to-do list, but also your waiting on list and things like that. It's very simple. It doesn't cost a lot of money, I guess 10 euros or something like that. I forgot the name. So I really like that because I really need that. Yeah. I'm not very good at planning, so I need a simple tool actually. Sure. And then another thing that I really use a lot is Google Analytics. It's quite easy and everybody uses it. But not everybody really uses it, because you can find so much information by just staring at your figures, seeing who is coming from where, who's bouncing, why they are bouncing and things like that. So I really don't believe in people that are able to design the perfect website at once. Yeah. If you do it at once, then you're very lucky. It depends on your brand, it depends on your process, it depends on your product, whatever, and there's always something that you can make better. So people always believe in, well, I think the best color for this button will be green or red or whatever, and sometimes they're right, but not always. Mm-hmm. And you really have to measure it. And the good thing about Google Analytics is it's free. So you get all those information all that information for free, and can optimize your website as you wish. And I do that so often, and that probably I spend too much time with it. It's not efficient anymore.
Okay, but yeah, I have the same impression of Google Analytics, that it's so interesting that you really like to spend time with it and just find out tiny things that might not help you with success, but are really interesting for you personally.
Yeah, and the other thing is that all those small little steps lead to the higher goal. What you shouldn't do is go to Google Analytics and look at all the numbers without thinking what your ultimate goal is. So I'm always looking at bounce rates. That's the amount of people or the percentage of people just viewing one page and go away. And the other thing is conversion rates. And I just compare different traffic flows or different pages or different whatever based on those two main goals that I have on the website, and that really helps.
And did it take some time that you could handle Google Analytics to understand the processes behind it, or is it
probably? But it evolved as well. There is more possible right now as in the beginning, but I already use it. I forgot how many years. Mm-hmm. So okay. I forgot actually when I really started using Google Analytics, and since I'm using it for a long time now, it doesn't feel that I really have to invest in knowledge or something like that. Okay. And for most people, if you just look into it, you already see some interesting information. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but at least to most people it's just interesting to see where your visitors are based. Yeah, and that's the first thing that you can see. So to everybody there's something in it, but if you focus a little bit more and it's spending more time, you can find a lot of valuable information.
So you had the early adapter advantage pretty much there.
Probably.
Michel, why did you choose Rotterdam? Why this city?
Actually, I started in Rotterdam, and that's the main reason that our first company was based in Rotterdam. We lived here and we started our company over here. Nowadays, I don't live in Rotterdam anymore, and my friend and co-founder Harm lives in Brabant, which is in the south of Holland. So Rotterdam is somewhere in the middle. Most people that work for us are from Rotterdam, and the good thing about Rotterdam is, in comparison to other cities in, for instance, Holland, to start with, it's not the most expensive city, but it's still a city where most people, not most, where a lot of people are really skilled, really serious, that really, you find enough people. If you're just somewhere in the middle of nowhere, it's quite hard to find the right people that are going to work for you. I like the city as well because it's an inspiring city. You find,
I have the feeling too.
You find boats like this. Never been there, but at least to me it's really appealing. I really like the architecture and things like that, but it's actually not the main reason that we're based here. You can find a lot of great people who want to live here or in the neighborhood. The competition for talent is not as stiff as, say, Amsterdam or London or other cities. And it's quite creative, and I just like the city actually.
Michel, I really like to read. Is there any book that you would really recommend me that you think changed you maybe?
There are a lot of books that changed me, but I won't recommend them to everybody and always, because in a certain period of time in your life you need, I really liked a book when I was 15, and I already realized that I wanted to start a company, and it's called Kaas, Cheese. Okay. It's written by a Belgian writer called Willems, and it's about, I think it was in the 20s or the 30s or something like that, somebody who wants to start up his own business and forgets about finding customers. He's really focusing in making his office perfect to buy the cheese and things like that, but he forgets that you really have to sell things to earn your money. And I always see when people are building up a business or are focused on the things that don't generate money but are very important for them, I remind them, please read the book Kaas of Willems. But it's a very simple message, and it's a funny book as well. But okay, that's one thing. There are a lot of other books, and I forgot probably the best books that I read. But one of the books I read recently is Exponential Organizations. It's written by a couple of writers. One of them is Yuri van Gees. He lives in Rotterdam as well. Oh. It's an international book though. It's in English. And it's almost a manual how to set up a company that could grow exponential. Because my first company, One Stop Webshop, is a good company, it's a stable company, and we really like it, and the people that work in it really like it as well, and we have a lot of clients that are really happy with us, but it won't grow exponentially. It's not that we will, dominating the world sounds a little bit like you really want to have power. That's not the main thing, but it can't grow as fast as I should, as I would like, and it's not scalable enough. That's actually the word that I was looking for. In that book, Exponential Organizations, there are a couple of key things you should think of. Well, I won't explain too much about that book, otherwise you won't read it, but I really recommend it.
Yeah, interesting. Gonna read it, I guess. That sounded really interesting now. Okay, good.